You may not realize it, but you could be just a few days away from losing out on hundreds of dollars. Most employers give you until the end of the year to use the money you have saved in your flexible spending account, and after that, it's gone. To show us some ways you can use some of that money up, we're joined by Kelli Grant, Senior Consumer Reporter for Smart Money. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Okay, so let's talk about the deadline first of all. For some companies, it's the end of the year, but then some have a few more months, right?
It really is going to vary by company, so certainly talk to your employer and find out what the deadline is. Some companies do allow a grace period that will go into 2010 through early March, and you may have as late as the end of March to submit some of the expenses that you've incurred.
Okay, and then flexible spending accounts are money that you put into this account before the year started. It's totally dedicated to medical expenses.
In this case, yes. I mean, you'll put in money pre-tax, and then the idea is then you're saving on that money when you use it for out-of-pocket medical costs, premiums, over-the-counter medications, prescriptions, things of that nature.
Okay, so first, to take advantage of all of that money so you don't leave it on the table, you say to hunt for receipts.
You definitely don't want to leave any money in your account because it goes back to your employer once it's gone. So try to check through first, and before you spend any other money, all the receipts that you've had from medical claims throughout the year, all of those doctor visits. You can go online and check, through your drugstore.com history or CVS history. You can even go to your pharmacy and ask them to print out a list of your prescription claims for the year and just make sure that you've submitted everything that you're entitled to.
I found it really interesting. You can claim your mileage to get to the doctor's office or hospitals. Explain how that works.
This is actually, it's just a little one, but it really does add up if you've had a couple of doctor's visits. The IRS does allow you to claim mileage to and from the doctor's office. You can pay tolls, parking fees, anything that you have proof of from that. And really that just it means you go back and look at every doctor's visit and you give them an estimate of how many miles you drove. And the reimbursement rate at this time is 24 cents per mile, so it can really add up.
Are there any medical expenses that you can prepay now for 2010 and take advantage of?
There are a few. The IRS really wants you to only be paying for medical care that you receive this year, but if you're on an installment plan for something like orthodontics, or you can also pay in advance if you have a 3-month prescription plan, you can do sort of mail order and pay for that now and then actually get the drugs in the new year.
And so there are other things also that you can sort of stock up on, some flu medications and whatnot. Exactly what can you buy now?
If you're looking at over-the-counter meds, flu and cold medications are a great one to look at because January and February tend to be the worst months for those illnesses. So certainly think ahead to that. And some plans will even let you, will even reimburse you for hand sanitizer. So great preventative there as well.
And if you happen to get on vacation or you're going for one, you can buy sunscreen. That's interesting.
Under some plans. This one's a little bit dicey. It'll depend on the plan. Some really want you only limit it to sunscreens that are 30 SPF or higher. Others require you to have a prescription diagnosing you with a disorder that would require you to wear sunscreen. But in any case, any sort of sunburn ointment, aloe vera gel, that's going to be covered one way or another.
Okay. I have a really old and ratty first aid kit. Am I able to buy a new one? Does that count?
You can, and this is a great year to replace it. If you want to just buy a pre-made one, then that's reimbursable. Or you can just go through and restock up on things like Band-Aids, first aid cream, even a new thermometer. Basic first aid items that you would need, that's all covered as well.
Okay, and then lastly, for your eyes, glasses, things like that, contact solution, does that all work?
That all does work, and those are great ones to sneak in at the end of the year because you usually don't need another doctor's visit as long as your prescription is up to date. And a lot of the stores that you would work with too offer some really flexible return policies. 1-800-CONTACTS, for example, will let you exchange any unused boxes of contacts if your prescription changes next year.
And then, of course, remember to get those claims in on time because I made that mistake. I left money on the table, and that just stinks.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely get the claims in on time and try to get them in early.
All right. Kelli Grant, Senior Consumer Reporter for Smart Money. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Great tips. And, of course, there's more money-saving tips available online. Just go to the up-to-the-minute page at cbsnews.com and then click on Money Talks.